So we've got a fair bit of detail that's been provided here. What's your take on all of this?
Yeah, look, it's good that the detail has been provided. It's important for businesses and for communities to understand what the roadmap is ahead. We've got a few questions as to how it will roll out over the coming days and weeks, particularly where's the Service First app so that people can prove their vaccination status, and how will businesses deal with unvaccinated patrons coming into their premises, their shops. None of that has been revealed yet. We hope the government comes up with specific answers to those questions, because that's the feedback we're getting, particularly from Western Sydney businesses.
So the Services app seemingly won't be ready possibly on the day the 70% release happens, if you like. Is the realistically effect of that mean that anyone that day, vaccinated or otherwise, will go into the venues and they won't really be able to check?
Yeah, it's very unclear, and it's disappointing that it isn't ready. The Minister responsible has had a long time to get this right, and I don't say that to nitpick, but it's a major, I think, kink in the ability of businesses to open up in a safe way, protect their patrons, protect their staff. To have this app not ready and in operation on a Freedom Day is going to be a huge drawback for millions of people who hope to go back to some kind of normal life.
There's a lot of talk today around police checking or helping to check vaccination. This is once it's up and running. Isn't this maybe a bit misplaced? I mean, at the moment, everywhere I've gone, you check in with an app and there's generally someone making sure you've done that anyway. Can't you just say, have you checked in? Can I see your vaccination? Aren't the two activities pretty linked?
Yeah, I think that goes to what we were speaking about previously, and that's the idea or the notion that the Services New South Wales app won't be ready. I mean, everybody wants Freedom Day to work. We want it to work on the date that businesses open up and can accept patrons, and the fact that it won't be an easy validation process for people is of concern, as are the fact that the health orders haven't been drafted yet. We're unclear whether it will be the premises' responsibility to make sure that there's only vaccinated people coming into their shop or their restaurant or their bar, or whether the New South Wales Police will be responsible for enforcement. None of that is clear.
On that question then, isn't it logical for the venue? I mean, we're not going to have a cop in every shop. That, yes, a police officer might be one needed to enforce it, as in, look, I've got someone here, they won't leave. But the only way to do this is for the venue to be policing it, for want of a better word, the way they do with QR codes.
Yeah, that's likely to be the way it rolls out. But I have to say, Tom, I'm only inferring that because it hasn't been cleared by the government as to what the protocols will be. That's the way it is in operation in New York City, in most of California, in Canada, that there'll be somebody at the front door ensuring that someone has signed in with the QR code. I think the problem will be if the Service app isn't in operation, if the New South Wales Police aren't going to enforce the health orders, then you could have unvaccinated people attending shops, restaurants, bars without any kind of protocol or process
you've got
to deal with it.
That's an option. Most people have that on their phones.
Yeah, that's true. But this was promised to be integrated into the existing contact tracing app and infrastructure from Service New South Wales. And I think we've all grown pretty used to the QR codes, to signing in, to roll out to millions of people a brand new vaccine passport process. It should have been ready on day one.
Let me ask about the overall path. So the final step to normality, if you like, all the national plan, all the talk there was 80% double dosed, and then you go into sort of life as normal gradually. But 90% is essentially the figure New South Wales has landed on. Is it a shifting of the goalposts, or is it a sensible move?
No, I think it's probably sensible. They had to nominate at some point into the future when freedoms would be returned to everybody. I mean, the key message from the government, from the opposition, from everybody at this point in the cycle still must be to go and get vaccinated. It's extremely important that you do it. It will protect you, your family, your community, and will allow us to get back to normal as soon as possible. I think the data out of the United States is really telling. 18,000 people died of COVID-19 in May in the United States. Just 150 of those 18,000 were double vaccinated. So the verdict's in, the data's very clear, vaccination saved lives and will get us back to normal.
Parliament is going to return imminently, we're told. The details so far seems to be it will be limited to those people who are vaccinated, and also an overall limit on numbers given the indoor nature of it. What do you make of that?
Yeah, we've been calling for this for a long time, and the only jurisdiction in the country that wasn't sitting was the New South Wales Parliament. I think good governments welcome scrutiny. They don't recoil away from it. So I'm glad common sense has prevailed, but we've been waiting a long time. Now, I think we can do it in a safe way, using audio-visual tools for country MPs, making sure that they don't come into Sydney and then go back out to the regions. But we've been waiting a long time coming. And look, when you're restricting freedoms, when you're asking tens of thousands of businesses to close and people to stay at home, it's essential that questioning of the executive take place, and that's what Parliament's for.
All right. What are you looking forward to most then? Kids back at school, getting to the pub, or getting a haircut?
All three, probably not in that order. But I'm looking forward to getting back to normal, absolutely. A tough time in Sydney, so it's fantastic that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
It definitely is. Well, most hairdressers give you a beer while you're getting a cut now, so you can knock off two at least and still have enough time to hang out with the kids. Chris Minns, appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much. See you next time.